I'd like to call this meeting of the Neighborhood Improvement Services Advisory Committee to order. I would also like to thank our viewing audience for tuning in. I ask Ms. Pam Trafton if she would give us the invocation, please.
All heads bowed, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here this evening. Thank you for keeping us. We ask that you be with us within this meeting. Touch each individual household, Lord. Touch them where they are at. Touch their needs. You know exactly what is needed of them. And we ask that as we go through this meeting that we may continue to bring forth the business that needs to bring goodwill in the city of Jacksonville. Let all hearts and minds come together and have a collective thought process of what's to come for change in Jacksonville. All these we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to welcome our members, staff, and others. We'll start with Ms. Tracy. Oh, Ms. Tracy, I'm sorry. Ms. Tracy's going to do our introductions. Start our introductions.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Tracy Jackson, Director of Neighborhood Improvement Services.
Good evening, Pamela Trafton, Senior Neighborhood Improvement Service Coordinator.
I'm Dr. Sandra Bragg, and I'm a member.
Jerry March, member.
Marsha Wright, member.
I'm Will Smith, Vice Chair.
Paula Jones, Chair.
Brian Jackson, City Council Liaison.
Gloria Whitney, member.
Lynn Harvey, member.
LaShawn Harston, Neighborhood Improvement Services Coordinator.
Good afternoon or good evening, Terrell Blackman, Assistant City Manager for the City of Jacksonville. Glad to be here with you all today. Just a little bit about myself. Prior to coming here, I was the city manager in Henderson, North Carolina, a little smaller community just above Durham in the Triangle area. Most of my career has been in community economic development. So I've done CDBG, I've done housing, I've done a lot of neighborhood improvement type activities. I'm one of two recently appointed assistant city managers. And just so you'll get an idea, we all work together as a team, but Neighborhood Improvement Services is one of my departments that I'm a liaison to, as well as Public Services, Police, Recreation, and Media. So I've got two of the biggest departments in the city being police and public services, but I also have something that's dear to me, which is neighborhood improvement. Certainly excited about being a part of a liaison or a part of this group. Won't be able to stay for your entire meeting this evening, but I will just quietly leave when I need to leave. But certainly glad to be here today.
You certainly welcome you. Okay, adoption of the agenda. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the agenda? Are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Same opposed? Same sign, motion carried. Let's move to the approval of the minutes. The minutes of the January 6, 2025 meeting have been provided for your review. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Are there any changes or additions? If no changes or additions, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes with any necessary corrections.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, opposed. Motion's carried. Let's see. Livable neighborhoods. Ms. Harston.
Thank you so much.
Harston. No I. Harston.
Thank you so much. Well, first, before we go into our little neighborhoods, we want to make sure that we cover our mission so that we can stay on track and focus with what are here to do as a committee. Our mission is to focus on department actions necessary to improve our neighborhoods of the city. Furthermore, Neighborhood Improvement Services connects Jacksonville's diverse neighborhoods with their city government and facilitate effective public participation, enhance economic opportunity, and implement community-based strategies to improve the quality of life for our citizens. And that is our primary focus of Neighborhood Improvement Services, as we are, what we like to say, where the rubber meets the road. We are that connection between our citizens and the city, so they can bring whatever their concerns are to us, and then we can try to see how we can assist them, okay? All right, our nonprofit update. We had a great turnout for our nonprofit workshops. We had a total of 23 local nonprofit agencies that actually showed up for the funding workshop. They were looking for potential funding with the city. In all, we had a total of 9 applications that came through that were turned in, 4 for CDBG funding and 5 for our general fund funding. And so to make sure that you all know that those reviews will happen on the 26th at 9 a.m., Ms. Gloria. All right. Any questions? No? Okay. So for demolitions, we don't have any updates on demolitions. We're still, ma'am?
No, I just said it.
Oh, okay, yes, it's gone. If you all remember Stevenson's Appliance, that was the last one. That was last structure that was taken down here within the city. That puts us at 175. Okay. And we do have a few in the pipeline, but we'll give you those updates as they come along, okay? All right, Spring Refresh. That was a great turnout that we had on the very first one on February 15th. I want to send a special shout out to Skyline Realty and New Beginnings Christian Center. Can we give them a hand of applause? In all, we had a total of 15 volunteers come out, and we serviced 3 homes on that day. New Beginnings actually serviced 2 of the homes during that time. So they put in some hard work. When I tell you they showed up and showed out, they put up with their whole crew, all right? But we were able to provide much needed services to our community members who signed up. Just remember that we do have 2 more coming up on March 8th and March 29th, okay? So anyone who is interested in some minor exterior maintenance to their home, please give me a call at 910-938-6546 so you can set up an appointment with me so we can take a look at what your need is. And if you're looking to volunteer, definitely give me a call and I can put you in the direction of where you can sign up on Volunteer Onslow as well. We're also still looking for groups to come and sign up. We had Skyline Realty, they signed up. They had 3 members from their realty group that signed up. And I'll tell you, those ladies showed up and showed out as well, and they called out their men. Okay? So definitely, we're looking for some good volunteer groups to come out for those last 2 days that we have available, okay?
All right, good evening. We'll go through and do community development updates. First up, I am proud to say we have 1 house available for sale currently. This one is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $193,250 at 112 Cox Avenue. This is right off of Marine Boulevard near the KFC for Landmarks across from the Jacksonville station. It is built in 2024, split bedroom floor plan, the master walk-in closet, there's no carpet throughout the home, washer and dryer hookups, close to city amenities. And what will require for qualifications is that they must attend our home buyer education course, as well as our money management class, and also attend housing counseling with the city of Jacksonville. Median income is required, and they must be able to qualify for a first-time home mortgage. So down payment assistance is available, meaning if the buyer qualified for, let's say, $160,000, then we'll be able to look into our down payment assistance programs to help close in that gap between the 160 and the 193. Taking back, the 193 does include the cost of the land. So as part of our approval process, we do pull the amount of the land out of that sales price, and it is on a 10-year mortgage, that as long as they live in the house for 10 years or more, then they would not have to pay the cost of the land back. So that will help with the gap as well. Okay? This is what the inside of the home looks like. Once you walk in, open floor plan as stated. So one side of the home is your living room, dining room, walk into your kitchen, all stainless steel appliances, minus the microwave. You have your soft closing cabinets, laminate floors, and then on this other side of the house is all your bedrooms. The first 2 bedrooms are in the front, split Jack and Jill style with the bathroom in the middle. And then in the rear of the home is your master bedroom. So where the 2 windows are is your master bedroom. And to the right is the closet and the bathroom. So the master bedroom closet is about the size of a bedroom. So for that buyer that has a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes, this is the perfect house for them.
Giant closet.
Huge closet. Very huge. Our first homebuyer education class is March 8th. We had to cancel the February due to registration, so those that registered in February have moved into the March class, but we are still taking registrations for March 8th. They are on Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. Cost is $25 per person. Lunch is provided. And we just had our first money management class for 2025, and we had approximately 15 in class. So that one is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We've entered into a partnership with Marine Federal to do an expansion of our money management classes. So from credit reports, budget basics, how to qualify for a mortgage, those are topics that we cover in money management. Money management is free, but again, it is 1/2 of the required classes. So your money management and your homebuyer education class. The next class is scheduled for April 12th, and all of these can be signed up by contacting us at 910-938-5286. All right, Harmony, I would like to shout out our Jacksonville Youth Council. Within the Youth Council, which is open to 8th through 12th grade students, we have a split division called Harmony. And in Harmony, there are board of directors that are all students. I serve as their staff liaison facilitator, and we have a partnership with Leading to Change, who comes in and helps coach the student on how to operate as a philanthropic board. So the students have learned how to write a grant application, identify what their target components are, and now we have an application that is out for youth organizations to apply to. So if you have a youth organization with your nonprofit, a youth organization with your church, in school, sports clubs, business clubs, any youth organization can apply for this grant. And the purpose of the grant, the board of directors have identified that they want those organizations to focus on programs or events that they can put in the community that will focus on mental health, healthy relationships, career development, financial support, homelessness, and youth development. And the ultimate goal is, if Dr. Bragg had a youth organization, the Harmony Board wants Dr. Bragg's group to come up with a program, an event that they can put in the community that will focus one of those 4 components. And Dr. Bragg's application will say exactly what that event is going to be. And she may need an additional $200 to make it happen. So Dr. Bragg's application is seeking $200. The Harmony Board of Directors will decide if they're going to fund it or not. And if they decide to fund, Dr. Bragg has $200 from the Harmony Board to be able to put that event on in the community. So we're ultimately showing where youth are helping make the decisions, just as you're getting ready to do for the nonprofits. The youth are doing the exact same thing with the other youth in the community. So spread the word. They have until March 7th to submit their applications. It's available online. If you need hard copy of the applications, I can print those out before you leave today to pass out. And the Harmony Board of Directors will actually go through a review period as well. So they'll go through all the applications. And one key step that we added to the process is they are going to interview the youth organizations to find out more details of what's being done. So they're really taking it, and it's always a good thing to see it from the beginning when they don't realize what it's all about. But when they go through the interview process and then they start going through the review and debating about who to receive funds or not, that's when it clicks for them, because they're understanding how the money that they're given is making an impact in the community. So it's really interesting.
Do they raise the money for this, or is it city money, or?
It's, we have city funds that we utilize for it, and then we have applied in the past for a grant that helps us pay for the facilitator trainer.
Because I know they've been doing this for a good little while, but it just occurred to me, wonder where their funding comes from.
Yes, ma'am. So we help make it happen with city funds within the budget.
And generally, they wind up funding more than one, or?
Yes, ma'am. So the budget amount is $3,000.
Oh, okay.
And so they split it amongst different organizations. And the minimum amount that you can receive is $100. And then we do, as you see in the pictures here, we hold a full celebration. We bring out the big checks so they can see what was funded, and it gives an opportunity for the recipients to announce exactly what their program is going to be.
What kinds of projects have they funded in the past?
So they've done back to school bash. We had White Oak High School had the apiary for bees. So their program now with the White Oak Green Team, it was actually started due to Harmony funds being able to help grant. So that program itself has expanded to where now they've done international training on being apiaries, going into the elementary schools. Let's see, what else have we done? Aspire has applied with their Teen Empowerment Day. Mr. Johnson has applied with GQ, Gentleman Equality, when he does the Men's Day with his boys. So Marshall Chapel is in this one with their most recent one for 131 Empowerment Day. So it's all been about putting on different empowerment programs that helps teach various topics. Yeah, we did a beautification at Jacksonville High School. So yeah, it's just been whatever that focus was for the year, those organizations were able to apply for it. Now, I will tell you, the Harmony Board, once they understand how they are spending the funds, they are very critical. So if you ask for, they will say, I mean, just as you're going to go through and say, okay, this organization has asked for $100,000 and we're only going to give them $20,000, they're just as critical when they really understand the process.
And you said this event, because I'm thinking about if someone wasn't quite ready yet to apply, but could come to this event where they're awarded. Is this open, in other words, to?
Yes, ma'am.
So you might have some kids who might want to, come and see what has been done this year, and then think about what they might be able to get together for. Because I'm sure there are a number of kids who don't know, and a number of people who don't know about this.
And I would say even if they didn't think they were ready, go ahead and give them an application, because we simplified the application enough to just be able to have them tell us what they're doing, what their budget looks like, and what they're seeking funds for. So I would tell them to go ahead and apply, don't wait.
And do you accept donations? toward your money, or is that skittish because of it being a city project?
I'd have to ask finance about donations.
Because I'm thinking about organizations that might be willing to sweeten their pot a little bit so it would go further than you can without having the kids to actually get out here and be having to do fundraising and a whole lot of other stuff, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
There might be organizations that might be willing to give a little money to this if you could figure out a way to do it. But it just occurs to me that because this is a city, it might be a little different. But, you know, sometimes anything is manageable when you figure it out.
Yeah, I'll ask finance and get back.
Figure that out.
But yes, please, please, please come out and submit an application.
Have you sent all these flyers out to the committee?
I will send them out again. Yes, sir. No problem. All right, Teen Volunteer Job Fair is coming up March 22nd. It's open to ages 14 through 18. This is a picture of us volunteering on Martin Luther King Day of Service, where we were at the Chew House helping them get set up for their next program. So Onslow Chew is one of our volunteer agencies. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are a volunteer agency or you are actively hiring teenagers, then please reach out to us so that way we can get you signed up to be a vendor at the actual job fair. It will take place at Onslow Community Outreach, 1210 Hargett Street, and it is open to all teens to attend.
It's also on the city website as well, where they can find it on the calendar and register right online.
Then our youth council, we meet the first Wednesdays of every month at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. So we have 3 more meetings to go. And again, the youth council is open to grades 8 through 12. Under neighborhood initiatives, we want to thank everyone that has taken the survey. The deadline was February 20th. Right now, we are tentatively planned for a public input meeting on March 13th. And I say tentative because we are waiting on HUD to release the allotments for what we will receive for 25 through 26. Once those funds have been released, then we'll be able to finish our draft of the annual action plan, and that's what our next input meeting will focus on, is providing feedback. Before we move forward, I passed out our summarization, so if you want to take that out. So this will give you an idea of what the community has stated. We received essentially, it was 152 responses. So out of 152 responses, you'll see a breakdown per question. So you had the opportunity to skip questions. But this will be identified in our annual action plan of what the community has put as a common theme. The beginning starts out with our open-ended questions, focusing on recreation and parks. The overall theme was more cultural events and festivals to include concerts. Some of the things that, in reading it, we do it already as city. One of it said request for a Christmas tree lighting. So we may note that some of it is more marketing. Everyone may not be aware of the different activities that we do within the city. So some things is more marketing as well. Splash pad at the Commons came up a lot. Improvement at Wooten Park, dog parks, and additional kayak launches. Fitness-friendly activity, teen-friendly activities, music festivals again. The unmet needs, more lighting, code enforcement for cleaning green, sidewalks and walkabilities, and then identifying food deserts. Key issues targeting teens, substance abuse, vaping, peer pressure, bullying. Safe location to hang out. We do have the chill zone, which is at 804 New Bridge Street. So that is open to our teenagers, middle school to high school. Language barriers with Spanish translation, Korean population increase and also American Sign Language. Other things to consider. Again, looking at revitalizing downtown to continue to attract small businesses. That will tie into our economic development plan that we're working now with small businesses, to where we are going to work with a consultant agency. Once that agency has been identified, they will actually work with micro enterprise business owners, which are those business owners that have 5 or less employees. And so if you're looking at either starting new businesses or how to expand your business, you'll be able to work with that consultant. How to invest in the community. The focus is rental housing, acquisition properties, residential rehabs. So housing, again, was the main focus. Homelessness, how do we prevent homelessness? Our rapid rehousing services. Rehousing services that we've funded in the past include assistance with your rental deposits, your first month's rent, or your utility deposits. We've also done, under homelessness prevention, is we will help pay for 1 month rent to avoid eviction. So Williams Outreach has been a key partner for us on the rapid rehousing services. Steady looking at down payment assistance, home buyer education and counseling. So as you see, housing is definitely the #1 focus still. So this is things that we take into account when we're looking at how to spend the funds. Also, when we're looking at our nonprofits, are they focusing on that as well? So that way we know that everyone is in alignment with our action plans. Most people say that they get their information from the website, the Facebook, city calendars, and utility bill inserts. Most prefer that they receive communication either through email, text, or mail. One of the key factors that we took into account for next year's survey is to look at the demographics, who's actually responding to the surveys. So that way we know the target audience when they're saying what the preferred way of receiving information is.
Yes, sir. Did we ever, I know we mentioned it before, but did we ever consider that PSA when these are getting ready to come out, so it's actually video talking about the public input meetings with the faces of the city, putting it on with a YouTube or Facebook, so now they can watch a small, short video to see, hey, this is going to be important.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
Yeah, so we didn't do the intro PSA, but we did record the actual presentation. So that way, if they weren't able to make an actual meeting, then they could still see the full presentation. And then we have the QR code as part of our presentation.
Okay.
And then that way, once the video was over, they were able to still provide input.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. Now, out of 150 responses, notice that public transportation, we only had 22 respond. And out of those 22, 68% is personal use, and 36 so use it for medical appointments. So that kind of goes back to the demographics of who's responding.
Yeah, it's like the ones with the most need probably isn't responding.
Right. So that goes back to, just, this would be great feedback for us to kind of help identify, where do we need to make sure the survey is visible at, so that way we're really getting well-rounded responses as well, too. But once we have what our allocation is for 25, 26, we'll be able to do a draft of the annual action plan.
This is great. Can you access this on a website also? That would be good.
It will be when the plan is ready.
There you go.
All right.
So Pam, you said that the bus, I picked up a lot of schedules outside and gave them to the ladies over in Beecham apartment across from our church that didn't know that they could ride that bus because it's just a sign sitting out there by our church. So one lady said, well, I don't have no way to get around, which most of the ones that live out there don't. And I told her, I said, well, I'll pick up the bus schedule. You go over there, you get on the bus, it'll take you over to the Commons, and it will bring you back. She said, I didn't know that, because she just retired and moved back here, and she got an apartment over in Beach Apartment. And so she said, there's a lot of old ladies who here that wonder how they could get out. When their daughter, one lived with her daughter works, so she stays home all day. I said, well, don't stay home all day. You can go out and see the city. So I did. So I want some more schedules so I can drop them off. And that way it will pick up where they can go, over to the Common, because they do have a senior citizen over there. And that's where she said, I wish I could be around people my age. She's 90-something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got a lot of them over there. But they don't know about this. Because she don't get the water bill, her daughter does, Phyllis get it, but she's from D.C., she retired down there. There's a lot of them over there.
Okay.
Well, there is,
Put them out there and I'll pick them up.
there is something called, the Georgetown response, I guess, where we had people living down deep in the community and they had to walk up to. So now
Oh, yeah.
we have it where they can call
Oh.
and they will,
Standing out there by themselves or when it's raining, something right there by our church.
yeah.
Alex will pick them up at the door as well, when you have
Yeah.
senior citizens and people with needs.
But that's what I told her, because she couldn't walk. I said, well, you can come right out here in the beach apartment and stand there and wait till that bus come down and flag it down, pick it up.
You mean they can call and the city bus will go, does it go down in Georgetown?
Around and make the loop.
Go around to the door with the old.
That is great. Have you guys, how many of y'all ever rode a city bus?
I've never.
Y'all working.
It's on my bucket list.
But I have never,
really.
and I've been telling my cousins since they were little, we're gonna get on that
I
bus.
just said I was gonna do a day and.
Yeah, and just do at least half the day.
One of the holidays, because I was on the ops board, and is it Thanksgiving? They do free
free
rides. So you can just get on for free.
Yeah, it was
Can't
free.
wait till Thanksgiving.
But I'm saying, if all you're doing is enjoying Thanksgiving.
You should definitely do it at least once, because when you're sitting as a passenger, it's a different view than when you're driving.
Yeah, if we're gonna promote it, we wanted to get on it to see what we were promoting.
Right.
And so we rode that city bus, and it's you're gonna have to have time, make time enough so that you can get to where you're going, because they do have different colored routes, and they go throughout the city depending on the route. So I encourage you all who need transportation to try it out and see whether or not it fits your needs.
Because when you come from cities where most people are reliant on public transportation, because when I rode it, I never even owned a car for years because it didn't make any sense to me. And, but then public transportation is not a taxi cab. So it's really about educating people and just getting them used to a different way of looking at things.
Some of them are afraid to just.
And that's a good point of reference, for us in here, those that are watching. Word of mouth is going to get a lot of this information around because everybody doesn't get all of the same media, text messages, emails, water bills. So just keep that in mind for us in the room and those that are watching, that word of mouth, help your neighbor out, look out for your neighbor, tell them what's going on also, so they'll know whether it's a new bus route or where to catch the bus at or where the bus schedule is. And that'll just help us engage one another a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good idea.
And it goes north, south, east, west? Is that the way it goes?
I know it goes all over the city.
All over the city.
I wonder where the city limits,
Yeah, because it also,
city limits, so it doesn't go to as far as past the base.
no, one of them actually,
Goes on.
Yacht Road.
Goes to Yacht Road.
They just started
East of the
that.
cutoff?
Yeah, home base.
That's outside the city limits, Yacht
so
Road.
in the city limits.
It sure is. I remember seeing the sign, city limits of Jacksonville. Okay, and it's not Yacht Road. Okay.
But it winds, it's just all over the place. You can go here and go out of the city and come right back into it, depending upon which direction you even walk, so.
And they even run on the weekend.
Oh, yes.
I see them run, and on holidays as well, so.
And the hours of operation are what?
It's on that schedule.
They are, it's on the schedule.
Okay, so don't.
Tracy, you remember the hours of operation or? I can't remember. I always wanted to say 6 to 10, but I don't know if it's that.
It's on the schedule.
Yeah, it's on the
It's a lot of
schedule.
different times,
But
because
you
it
can check
stops
the
so different.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to check the
And the
website. They have their
parents, too, that's
schedules up
an issue.
there.
But my ladies don't go on the computer, so
Right,
I had
you
to
gotta
take
get
them
that
to them,
information.
so they could carry it with them in the purse, so they know where the next stop is, or where they want to get off.
We appreciate that too.
Yeah, we
Good to
do.
know. Can we go into one city, our city, my city moments?
Well, one more before we go there.
Before we go
Say the date if it's not already on your calendar. The week of April 21st through the 25th is Community Development Week. This is an opportunity for us to acknowledge all the great projects, programs that we've completed in the past year. April 22nd, we are going to do a ribbon cutting at 114 Cox Avenue and celebrate our new homeowner. And at that time, we're also going to do an open house at 112 Cox Avenue. So that way you can do a walkthrough of the home and help us sell it.
I need to put all these dates down. Can't keep up with all this.
Yeah. So that one will be April 22nd at 12 p.m. All right. And then you have April 24th as our Community Week cookout. So that's on your calendar.
That's a big event. April would be,
Yep, April 24th.
you gonna give us the dates.
Absolutely. All right, Madam Chair.
All right, one city, our city, my city moments. Do we have any? Anyone?
Spring refresh. All right. This is our first group. These are the ladies from Skyline Realty that came out, and we helped our first homeowner over in the Belfort Homes area. She had a great need.
They've been there deep in it, aren't they?
Go to the next one.
Keep going.
What? All right.
That's a lot.
Yes, yes. And she still, we gotta go back out to her house and finish too, okay? All right. Look at there.
Oh, good.
This is our crew from New Beginnings that came out and volunteered. All right.
Wow. I remember doing that.
We appreciate all of our volunteers that came to help out
That's nice.
for our homeowners, because they really did appreciate them coming out
Yes, they did.
and giving them that spring refresh that they've been lacking for some years now. So thank you all for coming.
I just want to do another shout out too, because our homeowner that we serviced at our second project actually came and helped service our home, one of the homes at the third project. So she felt that, she wasn't able to really assist with our own project, so she said she had time and she went to the next one. So, yeah.
So what are the qualifications for doing this?
To call me.
Stall back.
Just, I mean, to get somebody to come to your house.
I'm sorry.
To get someone to come to your house. Yes. Bishop was out there, because he was out there with the power washing the houses and stuff. He was doing some hard work.
Well, I will encourage and invite the Neighborhood Improvement Advisory Committee to join us on the March 29th. I think the Environmental Improvement Appearance Committee, they're going to join us on the 29th. So hopefully you all can come and join that committee and volunteer your time.
And also for March 29th, we're going to be in the Georgetown area because GPS has already said that they're going to have a group of volunteers out there.
Okay, great.
So March 29th.
March 29th.
It's on the calendar, I see here.
8 to 2.
8 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Any volunteers?
Yes.
April 21st.
We'll accept any help.
I'm up at 6 anyway. So.
March 29th, Georgetown. Where's the meeting place?
It's gonna be at the church.
Where?
Evening
Which
visit.
church?
Evening view.
Okay.
Evening view.
And what time is that? Do we know?
From 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The 2.
is when we're going to be volunteering, yes.
Awesome.
All right. I might know.
Yeah.
Are there any other one city moments you'd like to acknowledge?
Oh, I got one.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a very good preacher. Black History, we had it Saturday at our church. He was one of the speakers. I didn't know he could speak so well, and he could eat very well. But I sure enjoyed it after it was over, because I was in the kitchen. He came out, I took care of him.
He's a real preacher.
Everybody over at the church was so late. They said, gotta have him back, gotta have him back. I said, well, once we get some more food. Well, he was in the morning, and Gary Slade was in the evening from St. Julius. So we had two. Break it up, and they ate, and then. But I didn't get to hear him in the sanctuary, but everybody came out and said, he's really good. I said, well, he's on our board, so you haven't seen him. But I said, we're going to have him back. So they asked for him to come back, explain some things, because they're very knowledgeable, him and Gary. So young people, I call. But anyhow, that was our ceremony, because they really did a good Black History Month over at the church.
That's good.
We had a lot of people there. A lot of vendors, too.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Anybody else?
Thank you.
I just say kudos to you all on the gathering the volunteers and going out and helping our neighbors, because that's what we used to do as a community. But to see that happen and you all initiating it, that's just a wonderful thing.
Are you in that picture?
No, I wasn't there. I was there before at another one before it started. And I paid for it afterwards too.
So to get people to, I need someone to come to my yard and help me. So what do I do?
Call me.
Just call you.
Call me.
Give them the phone number.
910-938-6546. LaShawn Harston.
And it's just something to remember. All of these things that we do here, it's to show that Jacksonville is a caring community. You know, we can't do it alone.
That's it.
You know, it's going to take everybody around the table. It's going to take our, everybody's viewing. It's going to take our city council. And so just remember that. So reach out to, neighborhood improvement services. For things that we need, reach out to your city council member that's over your particular ward. Let them know what's going on in your neighborhood so they can report it back to us. And then also reach out to Ms. Paula Jones, our wonderful chairperson, and she'll put us to work.
I do love him. Any future agenda topics?
Can I just put one out there, just for, and it's really for, because we're neighborhood improvement services, right? And part of that is, speaking of what I was just talking about, we have a council person for different wards and some at large. So I would be, willing to see if our city council, and we talk about it here, can begin to set up venues for their, for their constituents to talk to them.
We discussed this before, and so we could have that time. Just free
them.
time. Just people come out and bring their issues to a location. So.
And if we can just do that, have them available, we'll provide the venue, and then we can get it done.
Right.
That'll be great.
And when you do have events, because I don't get all the information about when an event is happening, just let me know.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. Yeah.
I think we have municipal elections coming up this year.
We do.
Because many people have, places have staggered terms and all that,
Right.
so there's always an election in Onslow County somewhere.
Right. So,
Great job.
okay.
Any more topics to discuss?
Ms. Marsha, are you doing census again? Are you on that committee?
Well, census is not till 2030.
Have y'all started planning anything?
I guess I'll still be here.
Remember, we just did the census.
Think about it, goodness, it's 2025 already. Years. And I don't know where February went. I do have a Board of Elections meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll be learning about what is going to happen,
Right.
relative to that, because if there is a primary necessary, I think May is the target month
That should
for
be,
that.
yeah.
So we'll be back in the cycle of that.
Wow.
Yeah, even though she said it's not till 2030, we are 5 years away.
We're not kidding.
Yeah.
Time goes by.
That's crazy.
so- Yes, isn't it?
So, and the reason we talk about the census is because that's what drives our allocation.
Yes.
When we're talking about CDBG and our funding. So we want to continue to start talking about the census because the more people that say I'm physically present in the city of Jacksonville tells government there's more people here, so we need to send them more funding.
You know you had a lot more people that moved here from Florida and
Right.
whenever they had the hurricane, so
And
I got
people
a friend
really
up
need
in
to
Raleigh that was
understand
telling me how many we
that
got.
connection because that drives people to the polls or keeps them from it if they don't see any point in going. And the example I usually give is the name of the money that does sidewalks. I'm looking right at it.
Capital improvement?
No, there's a name, there's an actual, probably was a bill somebody put in.
Oh, okay.
It's not Phillips, but the point is that
And we used to have power bill for the roads, and we definitely need more funding for that.
yes.
Yeah.
And to tell people that, when you're living on a road and nobody who lives on that road responds to the census, and then a couple of places down here, everybody on that road does respond. When Powell bill, that's it, it's the same thing. When that money becomes available and they decide where it's going, they pull up census data. Because I was telling people, I said, they don't come back to your street and see how many and count again. You already had that opportunity to be counted. So when you don't get it and you're wondering why not, it's because more often than not, the people who are living on that street or road did not respond to the census. So when they pull that data up, because they're not coming back to see you again for another 10 years. So when they pull that data up and there appears to be 0 people living on that road, that's when roads don't get paved. That's when sidewalks don't get put in. Because according to the census, nobody lives on that road.
Not them.
Oh, man, that does a lot for Kerr Street, because I'm telling you, there, as far as people living on Kerr Street, I can probably count 5 people that live on that long street. But there's a church, there are 2 churches there, and then the 5 people that have addresses on that street, because the other homes, nobody lives there. Or they're vacant, there are lots that are vacant, or a building going on, or something like that. So, yeah.
Just those kind of conversations to have about people when it comes up, because like you said, in 3 years, we'll probably be talking about this, because it will be time to get involved, and in order to get people to cooperate with it, they need to see a need for it. But the other side of that is, you've got to be a responsible adult here, wherever you live, you need to be concerned about what's going on in it.
You gotta connect people. People register, but they're not educated. We gotta get better, educate people on why you need to vote for a county commissioner, city councilman,
Absolutely.
board of education, how that affects your children in school and stuff. A lot of people, that connection is just not there.
Got a hand up.
Yes, ma'am.
I was waiting for you to finish. I wasn't trying to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Before we move on to your dates, your key dates, rapid rehousing program, if you were in need of rapid rehousing right away, say it's me, my daughter, my son, and 3 kids, and we all need a place to go today because we don't have a place as of last night, who do we contact?
Right now, Williams Outreach has been helping us with rapid rehousing. I will say the expectation of being in a house today is not there. It's rapid rehousing and helping with finances. It doesn't mean you walk into my office today, I can put you in a house today.
Okay.
Because they're still working with the market. They're still finding what rentals are available, apartment complexes. They're rapidly helping with the finance side of it.
And Trillium, do they still have funding if you have mental health issues? And in some cases, if there is somebody in the family that does,
Yeah.
you know, they might put them in a hotel or something until they could find some other way to house them.
And that's through the continuum of care.
Yeah, and
that they do.
the HAC program, they have a HAC, HAAC.
The Housing Alliance Coastal
Carolina.
Coalition.
They have, matter of fact, when is their meeting? They have to put that out because they just had a meeting last week. But yeah.
And so part of those two, with all those agencies, they still go through an approval process. One thing that the public needs to know when it comes to the approval process is they look at affordability. Affordability meaning, if I qualify you today, are you able to take care of the next month? Are you able to sustain yourself going into housing? If you currently do not have income, then that does not give you the affordability because it's not a consistent process. It's a leverage of being able to get into the door because a lot of times people may be able to pay that monthly rent, but because they're paycheck to paycheck or paycheck to Monday, they do not have the ability to save the deposit, the first month's rent, the utility deposit. So that's where the rapid rehousing helps aid in giving those funds available, and then they're able to make those rent payments therefore. But again, they're looking at your income. So it is income guidelines. If you have a family of 5, then they're going to take into account every person over 18, all the income that those people bring in. So that could potentially make people ineligible. If everybody's working, then all that income comes into play. So all those things are part of their approval process.
The purpose is for sustainability. So it's not for a person to expect them to pay your rent for you every month. They have Section 8, to go through that. But this program is just to sustain you for what you can already do for yourself.
Now, I'm sure there's a list of all of these agencies somewhere collected already. So if I'm a person sitting at home right now watching this, who should I contact to get like a list of these agencies?
Is it on the county website?
Well, it also depends because depending on the program that you're currently in, like if you're on in the Medicaid program, then the Healthy Opportunities Pilot Program, they have funding for that, and there's different agencies around the area that have access to that funding as well. I know Onslow Community Outreach has some funding for that. So it all depends. But if you call here, 910-938-5286, then we should be able to at least give you some resources to be able to tap into, depending on what you are already qualified for.
Yes, thank you so much.
And also 211.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
The what now?
211.
211?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the
Resource.
quick resource too.
Yeah, that's a resource line.
There you go. Thank you.
Does NC 360 control that now?
211's through United Way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it's national through.
Right.
I will say Onslow County Department of Social Services, they also have what they call a street sheet
That's what
that
I was
has
thinking about.
services there as
Thank
well.
you. Yes, sir.
Same thing with base, when they have those forms, and they tell you how you get phones, place to stay. They have just like we sit around a table. I go to the one at the Marshall Pavilion for the military, and they have you where you get all the list of what you have to need for the state. So I'll give you one from there.
Oh, thank you guys for all that. That was good information. Some of that stuff I did not know. So hopefully it will help someone, and I can pass this on to some people that I'm trying to help a little bit. So may I entertain a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm
Excuse me,
sorry.
1 minute. Did somebody had something?
Dates, I forgot.
Before you do that, I would like to recognize Miss Lynn Harvey. Thank you for joining the committee. We don't have a lot of volunteers these days, unfortunately. So for you to take time out to join us to try to help your community, I definitely appreciate it. But I want to inform others that if you do want to volunteer for other committees, you just, call the city manager's office. And you could you could go online to do an application, and you follow up through the city manager's office. So, but thanks again, Ms. Hart.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Yes, do we have?
How many committees do we have
In the city.
in the city that we can that you can volunteer for? We have NIS, but we also have Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, sanitation.
Is it sanitation?
Environmental.
Every department, rec, Parks and Rec,
She said
you have planning,
sanitation.
adjustment,
Did you get beautification?
beautification. Well, that's
There's some more. But I can't think of them.
civic.
Civic Affairs, is it Civic Affairs or something like
And that's
that?
a combination of.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
I have a list.
Because I know there was an effort to streamline that under Dr. Winter wasn't there. I don't know if that's changed or not. It seems like we had a lot of them.
Yeah, we'll come back and actually bring it forward.
So we can get maybe a list of all the,
It is on the website as well, too.
Wait a
Yeah, it's
minute.
right on. And when we send out the information from tonight's meeting, so that way you have all the dates collected in the one spot.
You're right there on the back of the calendar.
You'll be able to go there.
put it on the back of the calendar for real.
Well, it's the departments, these are different departments.
But we'll send you the link for accessing it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, on our key dates, the only dates that we did not mention was April 18th, where City Hall is closed for Good Friday. So, but all the other dates we have discussed already. And again, for Spring Refresh, contact Ms. LaShawn at 910-938-6546. All right. Our next meeting is April 28th. And then June 23rd, we'll close out the fiscal year. Keynote, if you did not notice, going into the next coming year, National Night Out has moved to October. So if you did not notice that in the calendar, that will not be in our August month. So that will be in October this year.
Is that a permanent change?
I'm not sure about permanent, but I just know for 25 it's in October.
Oh, okay.
All right, Madam Chair?
May I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Thank you for joining us.
Can I get a second?
Second.